There are many unanswered questions during this pandemic. We've been out in the street talking to some folks who are on the front lines, talking to the unsung heroes of the people of New York City, people, for example, in funeral homes. And we've talked to these unsung heroes and we've discovered some troubling things, some things that should disturb us. This will just be part one of an ongoing investigation into fraud, waste, abuse, corruption in COVID.
To be honest with you, all of the death certificates they're writing COVID on all of the death certificates, whether they had a positive test, whether they didn't. So I think, again, this is my personal opinion. I think like the mayor in our city, they're looking for federal funding, and the more they put COVID on a death certificate, the more they can ask for federal funds. So I think it's political. So I'm going to turn around and say, like not everybody that we have here that has COVID on a death certificate died of COVID. Can I prove that? No, but that is my suspicion.
So you think that they're just putting it on everyone who's dying?
They're putting it on everybody's death certificate to make life easier for them, because like the causes of death get proved right away. If you write COVID, I mean, listen, they're just pushing things out because they're overwhelmed, and it's just easier to write COVID on everything. That's my opinion.
So this isn't like, we're not the first case of this happening?
Oh, absolutely not.
How often do you think this has happened?
Quite a lot.
So you've seen
I couldn't give you a number, but quite a lot.
Okay. So you've seen other families at your funeral home?
Absolutely. I've seen causes. I've seen people, say COVID in the family, somebody never tested, we don't know, and they're writing it anyway. Because if the law allows them, like if it's in their medical opinion, it allows them to write it, so they don't even have to prove it.
So do you think that they're doing it to help the mayor, or?
No, I think they're doing it to help the mayor. I think the mayor is ordering it from down, because the more deaths that they report from COVID, the more money they can go and ask the federal government for. They put 100 COVIDs, I'm going to tell you all 100 people didn't have COVID. How can I tell you what percentage? No, but I can tell you this is what they're doing.
And they're not even testing these people for COVID.
They're not even testing these people. If the doctor thinks you had COVID, he's allowed to write it down. Listen, you asked the question, I'm going to give you the answer. I'm sorry if the answer may not be what you want to hear, but I'll apologize for that. I'm not going to lie to people.
Mike Lanza was not the only funeral director we heard this story from. His observations were shared by many.
All putting COVID on a lot of death certificates because people that are going to their hospital, any kind of respiratory distress, respiratory problems, pneumonia, the flu-like symptoms lead into the COVID-19.
Sure.
So it's hard for them to put their finger on it.
So just to be safe, or what does it matter? I guess that's my confusion, is if he dies, he's got a heart condition, but they're going to say...
To me, all you're doing is you're padding the statistics. You're putting people on that have COVID-19. If they didn't have it, you're making the death rate for New York City a lot higher than it should be. A lot of people have been dying at home. Okay? And the problem is the medical examiner... If you had a private doctor, the medical examiner would speak to the private doctor over the phone, clear it up, bing, bang, it's all done. But now if you don't have a private doctor and you are on any medical care, they're automatically putting down on the death certificate COVID-19 because they don't want to go. They're so overwhelmed, A, and B, they're not going out to houses anymore. They would go out to the house. They would investigate the scene. They would do some, testing at the scene and then come up with a conclusion as to he had heart disease. But now they're putting everything as COVID-19, so they're padding the numbers that are making it look like, yes, we do have a lot of deaths. I'm not going to say we have been overwhelmed with them, but you start to say how many of them are actually COVID-19, or are the ME just putting it because they don't want to go to the scene?
Okay. Because my sister was, she was...
I had a 40-year-old man that died in his house, okay? They didn't even go to the house. The guy had no underlying causes, no medical conditions. They released him from the house without even going, saying he had COVID-19 because he had a fever. But now, how do you know that's what he had? You don't. But now your death certificate shows he had COVID-19. Guy that I just buried, I just came back a little while ago from Long Island National Cemetery. And when they called me from the nursing home, I said, did Raymond have COVID-19? He said, well, no, it was variants of drive, but we're assuming they all have it. Well, I used to assume that when they're all in the hospital. She had no answer. I can't answer you, she said. They put down on Raymond's death certificate, he didn't have COVID-19.
Wow. Oh my, who's this woman?
I was at a nursing home in Dutchess County.
Wow. And they're just assuming just because...
Because a couple of people had it, so everybody has it now.
I just wonder what the point of that is.
I know, but, you know, there's no way to prove it because if they put it down and the person was not autopsied, you don't know. I had one that was autopsied because the sister was furious. And apparently, and I don't know who the Supreme Court Justice is, but the Supreme Court Justice was related to this family. And she says, I know my sister didn't die of COVID-19. She said she had Alzheimer's and they didn't suction her. You have to suction because they forget how to swallow. And right away they put down COVID-19 on her death certificate, and this Supreme Court Justice, whoever it is, contacted the hospital. They did an independent autopsy. Bingo, no COVID-19.
Okay, so this is a case where someone was said to have had it, and then afterwards they checked, no COVID-19.
Because the sister refused to believe that her sister had COVID-19, and like I said, she was the one who said to me, she says, well, my cousin is, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, and I'm going to contact, and we're going to get an autopsy, and you do what you got to do, you know. And she did what she has to do, and sure enough, I called her, and I said, the doctor signed the death certificate, did the autopsy, no COVID-19.
So this guy made like a special call for the autopsy. Chief Supreme Court Justice guy. Wow.
Basically, every certificate that comes across our desk now has COVID on it. Even if people aren't tested, if they have a cough, if they have a flu symptom, it's basically considered COVID.
You just said, I think is critically important. Can you repeat what you just said, please?
Well, last Friday, I received a 7-page document that sort of told me that if I had an 86-year-old patient that had pneumonia but was never tested for COVID-19, but sometime after she came down with pneumonia, we learned that she had been exposed to her son who had no symptoms, but later on was identified with COVID-19, that it would be appropriate to diagnose on the death certificate COVID-19. Now, we've not done that. If someone has the pneumonia after and it's in the middle of a flu epidemic, and I don't have a test on influenza, I don't diagnose influenza on the death certificate. I will say this elderly patient died of pneumonia.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but my heart is sinking right now as you're telling me this. You're a doctor. Why in the world would they be sending you out information to fill out death certificates, whether the person's been diagnosed with COVID-19 or not, but then to say in the death certificate this person's death was caused by COVID-19? That does not sound right to me.
I went to the person in our office who does most of the death certificates over the last 10, 20 years, and I said, does this sound right? I had her look at the documents that I'd printed off, and she said, well, we've always been told that you always put down just facts. You don't put down any probabilities. You don't put any presumptions down. It's just what you know. And so this is concerning, and it actually gets to your point, Chris. When we start talking about the data that goes into the modeling, we have to ask ourselves a question. Are we being forthright? Are we sharing with the public? Minnesota, North Dakota, we don't need to be having it sugar-coated. We want to know what's going into your modeling.
So with that being said, why would they want to skew the number of deaths due to COVID-19?
Well, fear is a great way to control people. And I worry about that. I worry that sometimes we're so darn interested in just jazzing up the fear factor.
If you work in a hospital or the government and you've witnessed something troubling, we want you to contact us securely at veritastips@protonmail.com. We want to know about any fraud or corruption that may be going on, and we will protect your identity. So contact us. We need you, and your country needs you.